My dear brothers and sisters, we have heard a very powerful gospel reading today, and yet it is also the most difficult gospel in which it invites us to have a deeper meaning, understanding of the very meaning of its words. It says, our Lord Jesus Christ says, love your enemy, pray for those who persecute you, love your enemies and do good to them, lend expecting nothing back, and your reward will be great, and you will be children of the Most High. In fact, my dear brothers and sisters, it is easy for us to love those who love us, to do good to those who are good to us. And usually, it's so difficult to love those who do not love us, to do good those who are not good to us, in which this is a radical invitation, in which is, my dear brothers and sisters, this is in fact an act of total self-giving, an act of going beyond of the traditional, but an act of actually embracing what it takes, and that is to love even the most difficult time. Jesus says also, stop judging and you will not be judged. Stop condemning and you will not be condemned. Forgive and you will be forgiven. For the measure with which you measure will return be measured out to you. It helps us to realize, after all, that the invitation of Jesus is most likely can be realized. The invitation of Jesus most likely is an invitation for us to understand and remind ourselves of the human condition and the human need, in which, after all, we realize that when he's saying, stop judging, you will not be charged. Stop condemning, and you will not be condemned. Forgive, and you'll be forgiven. These are the words of Jesus telling to us that we don't have the right to judge other person. We don't have the right to condemn other person. Rather, we have to render forgiveness and understanding. For we all need understanding, forgiveness, and love. Jesus, in the last part of the gospel, saying to us, for the measure with which you measure will in return be measured out to you. We know, my dear brothers and sisters, that we are being challenged, especially in putting into actions the words of Jesus in the reality of the human condition. But at the end of the day, we are once again reminded that we do good despite of its difficulty. We render forgiveness despite of its difficulty. And we show love despite of its difficulty. Which is, my dear brothers and sisters, Jesus Christ is once again reminding us that there's no other way that we could truly live our life meaningfully. Remember, in the psalm we have heard that we are wonderfully made. We have been formed in our inmost being. We are knitted in our mother's womb, and that we are wonderfully made, and that our works may be wonderful also. Truly enough, my dear brothers and sisters, the absence of love and goodness is no other than hatred. And if there is no love and goodness in one's heart, you can never see and appreciate all things that everything is wonderfully made by God. And this hatred blurs our mind. This hatred blurs our heart. This is our common experience. It is only when we learn to love, to forgive, and to understand, and most especially when we learn again to realize that there's no other way rather than to love and to be kind. Truly enough, we see wonderful things. We live a wonderful life. Amen.